What's up, guys? So we'll see how this live goes. I've done a Facebook Live in a while. We're on a walk right now in the neighborhood to the south. I don't know how good the service is out here and all that. So we'll see if I get the bad service and lose signal there, or if Facebook just magically something gets a mistake there. So let me, if you're watching this right now, let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Because last thing I want to do is like talk for a while. There'd be no service or anything. So drop a comment and let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. There might be a little wind because we're on a little nighttime walk here to decompress with Quinn. How's it going? So anyway, I had to, okay, Avi said, yep. So I had to do something. Listen, I'm not a tinfoil hat person. I'm a pretty down the middle when it comes to like crazy theories and realistic theories. It is just super odd. Rodrigo Gus is loud and clear. For me, it's super odd. Like the timing of this, right? Like I went on a multi-video rant for the last week or so about Facebook and my thoughts about how Facebook's handling PR and all this stuff. And like nothing's changed on our advertising side of things. And then, this morning, obviously wake up and my personal profile has been banned from advertising on Facebook because I violated their arbitrary, undefined ad policies, right? Now listen, it could have been the fact that something triggered it from months ago or years ago, whatever, because Facebook's been doing that. They've been going back and rejecting ads that haven't been run for a year, 2 years, 3 years. But it's just, listen, there's a lot of coincidences. When there's like multiple coincidences in a lineup, all of a sudden it's a trend, right? It's hard to ignore multiple data points. I was telling this analogy earlier, and Nod said, sorry to hear about that, brother, wishing you the best. Like I was talking to my wife about this in the car today. I was saying, like, there's not a single company in history, not a single company out there. And if somebody can name this for me, like I really am serious. You're watching this right now and you can name a company that would do this, let me know. But I don't think there's another private company out there that if they had a customer who had spent tens of millions of dollars with them and been a customer for 6+ years and also referred thousands of other customers and helped thousands of other customers spend more money at that business, that business would essentially say, you did something, we can't tell you what you did, and you can't shop here anymore. Thank you for your millions and millions of dollars. Thank you for all your patronage. But fuck you, basically. And so that's essentially what happened, right? Essentially what's happening right now is Facebook is going on some type of radical banning bender when it's come, not just on profiles, not just on ad accounts, but on content. And this is a trend all social media right now. And it's weird. It's weird, guys. Like I can't fathom for the life of me what I possibly could have done to warrant that severe of an action without any reasoning. See, listen, this is the thing. If anybody happens to see this that works at Facebook, and I'm sure somebody that works at Facebook will inevitably see this video, right? If anybody sees this, the problem people have with you is not the actions you take, right? I personally don't have a problem with me getting banned. I don't, right? What I have a problem with is the arbitrariness, the subjectiveness, and the inconsistency, right? And that's what's really, I think, pissing a lot of people off when it comes to Facebook and these tech companies as an advertising platform, but also social media in general. There's no standard, right? There's no rules that are put out there that says, essentially, if you do any of these things, you automatically get banned, regardless of who you are, regardless of your political party, regardless of the size of your company, regardless of any of that stuff, right? Here's our rules. You break the rules, you get banned. You don't break the rules, you don't get banned, right? It should be a relatively simple thing to do. Now, I don't know about you guys, but like for the last few years now, we haven't gotten a specific reason for an ad rejection or account ban, anything, right? You have all these policies. Tell advertisers which policy they broke. And anytime I've talked to reps or support about this and said, hey, if you just told us what we did wrong, we could prevent doing it, right? We could actually do a better job. Like maybe I did make a mistake, but I can't fix the mistake if you don't tell me the mistake I made in the first place. Now, their reasoning of why they don't, and this is the reason that I've been told multiple times, the reason why Facebook doesn't give just reasons anymore as to why your ads get rejected or why your ad account gets banned, is because they think we're all bad actors, and they believe that if they tell us, we're going to then exploit that. So if we know that they banned us because of this, now we're all black hat advertisers and we're going to find a workaround. It is such a sinister and negative outlook on your community, where like they don't trust us as advertisers. That's essentially what it is. It's they think most of us are just bad actors trying to sell shitty products, trying to scam users, and we're all going to break the rules. And so instead of telling us what the rules are and the rules we broke, they're like, well, better off just not telling them, because then they don't know, and then they'll keep fucking up, and we'll keep doing this, and we'll eventually ban them. It'll give us an excuse to ban them, and they have no recourse, and they have no ability to do better. And it's hard, right? Because, like, you know, I'm not the biggest person in the world, right? I'm not the biggest person when it comes to Facebook ads. I'm not the biggest person in digital marketing, right? But I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I've spent a lot of money, a lot of my own money, a lot of other businesses' money. I've ran ads for 3M, I've ran ads for On, I've ran ads for Goalie, I've run ads for 3M, like Sam's Club, like huge, wide range. People like Kevin Harrington, people like Pat Flynn, people like Zig Ziglar, right? Like, so I've been on the block, and I've taught tens of thousands. I've spoke on the biggest stages in the world. So I'd like to think that I know what I'm doing, and I'd like to think that I wouldn't break the rule. I wouldn't risk the core platform that I built a career on for something short term, right? And let me just, before I continue on this rant, let me just say also one thing. For anybody, because a few people commented this, that commented like, basically, you're kind of an asshole because Facebook is responsible for your fortune and Facebook's responsible for your career, and so it's bullshit that you're complaining. There's a few people that have commented that on Instagram and Facebook. To me, what I say to those people is fuck you, right? Like, if you really think that Facebook single-handedly just like, I just woke up one day and just turned on Facebook ads and it made me all this money. If you really think that's the case, you're a fucking idiot. And you have no clue what it is. The reason why I've had success and the reason I've had a career is because I work my ass off. I've invested everything. I spent 7 of the last 10 years broke, living month to month, maxing out credit cards, liquidating all my savings to keep employees paid, to keep my initial startup running, to build what I built today. So don't fucking tell me that Facebook is responsible for everything I have, right? Facebook's a platform. And at the end of the day, too, just because you've used a platform and it's been a big part of you being able to reach people and stuff, doesn't mean you also can't challenge that platform, right? That's a crazy view. Like, that's a crazy, cynical view that basically, if a company has helped you in any way, in any time in history, they're basically immune from criticism by that person, right? And that's essentially what some of these people are saying, is like, hey, you've used Facebook ads to build a career, therefore you are you're unqualified to complain and vent. If anything, I should be the most qualified, right? Like, if anything, this should say just how bad Facebook is, right? The fact that somebody like me, who has taught so many people how to run Facebook ads, who sent so much business to Facebook, who has spent so much money on Facebook, that I feel this way, and that I'm getting deactivated, should say more, right? And so I just wanted to put that out there, right? It's like, the few people that commented that, listen, you're entitled to your opinion, and I respect your opinion, but it's just wrong. You don't know who I am. I love these people that think they know who you are, and they think they know your story, and they think that like all I've done for the last 8 years is run Facebook ads and make money Facebook ads. No, we've made a lot of money building a portfolio of e-com properties that advertise everywhere else. Like the last year, because we run a lot of political stuff, most of our businesses, we haven't run any Facebook ads because Facebook kept a political ban for months and months and months and months after the election, even though they told us that it was just going to be for a few weeks after the election. They kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. So, I've made more money in the last year not advertising on Facebook than I did my entire career. So that's just a logical fallacy. Like, you're just wrong if you think that's the case, right? That I've only made money on Facebook. And again, it's irrelevant, right? Because Facebook, I don't know what their play is. And I'm genuinely curious. Like, I can't comprehend it. I can't understand what they think is going to happen, right? Like, they're fighting so many battles, and it's almost as if like Zuck and these people, like, they think they're untouchable, and they might be. Listen, it very well could be that Facebook is so big and it's so deeply integrated into our lives between WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, all this stuff, that no matter what they do, and no matter how many people they piss off, from world governments to our politicians to advertisers and users, that they will still continue to grow. It could happen, right? But at the same time, like, you can only be king of the hill and just piss on people below you on the hill for so long before somebody takes you out. And that is what I feel is going to happen at some point. It might not be this year. It might not be 3 years from now. It might be 5 years from now. But eventually, you can't sustain this level of hate. You can't sustain growth in a company where a majority of your user base dislikes you as a company. A majority of politicians from both parties. That's like the one, it's bad when Democrats and Republicans can both agree that you're awful, right? When both Democrats and Republicans can agree on one thing, which is basically the only thing they can agree on nowadays, is that Rodriguez Baby agrees with the he definitely agrees with it, right? But like Democrats and Republicans both want to do something about big tech for different reasons, but they're universally like want to go after them, right? And I hope they do. I think it is bullshit, in my opinion. Like, I think both Apple and Facebook, the last year, their PR has been bullshit. I've been very clear about that. But Facebook especially, like, if their whole angle for the last year with the Apple fight has been we're fighting for small businesses, and that couldn't be a bigger load of shit, right? They destroy small businesses every single day, right? Like, I have multiple companies that have dozens of employees that, some of those businesses do depend on Facebook ads. And so this has a serious impact on some of those businesses. That impacts employees. That impacts people that we pay great salaries, that we offer healthcare, 401k matching, flexible work hours, FSA. We offer all that stuff. This hurts small businesses. When you shut down people's, not just ad accounts, but their entire ability to advertise and make it indefinite, right? That's a big thing. It's one thing to say, hey, we're suspending your account for a month or 6 months. Right? But there's just like, hey, you're banned and you get one review, even though you've spent tens of millions and years on the platform. We're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We're not going to give you 3 strikes. We're not going to give you the courtesy of warning you beforehand. We're just going to shut you down out of nowhere and make it a lifetime ban. And screw you, right? You're shit out of luck. That's basically what has happened, and it's happening on a daily basis to a lot of people. And a lot of people I know have spent a lot of money and are very, very successful. And so the other thing that's gotten me, and this is why I'm so excited about actually what happened politically, is it forced us to diversify, right? It forced us to look at other channels because Facebook basically prevented us from having a Q4. Like, Facebook and Google both shut us down, all of our political stuff, for all Q4 without warning ahead of time. And what's crazy is I've spent more money on Facebook and more of my career advertising on Facebook than every other traffic channel combined. Yet, Facebook is the only company that I still can, if I wanted to, like, pick up a phone or drop an email and contact somebody that's super high level. I can do it on every other channel, right? Like right now, we've probably spent, I don't know, $50,000, $100,000 on TikTok. Nothing big. But I have multiple reps there. I have a call with them next week to discuss strategy for our Onnit account. They're working on we launched new ads for it, and they got a rejection because it's a supplement. Email my guys, hey, this is rejected because of supplements. Oh, yeah, that's that happens. Let me contact compliance. Let me talk to them. Let's get this cleared up because we want you to be successful on the platform, right? Parler. I know you guys hate Parler politically, but Parler wants us to advertise. So say, hey, what can we do to make it work for you? What if we gave you a special CPM deal? What if we did this, and this? Rev Content. All these channels, Outbrain, Taboola, they're like, we want to help you personally be successful. So literally, Snapchat, every other channel out there, every other company out there that cares about their advertisers, right? They respect their advertisers because they're not blinded by being number one. And that's going to be Facebook's downfall. Facebook's downfall is going to be that they and Google own almost 100% of the online advertising market. And so they're not afraid of anybody, right? They're not worried. They're like, we're so big, people aren't going to leave us. And it's true, because look, I'm doing this live on Facebook right now. I get the irony of it. Listen, guys, somebody posted on my post basically saying the irony of you posting this on Facebook. Fuck it, I get it. I get it. I'm ranting about Facebook on Facebook. But that also kind of makes a point, right? Is that Facebook and Instagram are so dominant, and that's where a lot of us have built our followings, that if I want to get a message out, even if it's about Facebook, I need to kind of do it on Facebook. I can't reach as many people on LinkedIn. I can't reach as many people on YouTube or Twitter. I just don't have the same following there. So I have to post it here. It doesn't mean that I think long term I'm going to be on here. It just means that, hey, this is for me to share my opinion and discuss this with others. This is where I need to post it. And so if you have a problem with anything that's ironic, that's okay. I don't care. It's just the reality. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. But what I can tell you is that there is a tipping point. There is a point of no return, right? There is a point where you piss off just enough people, right? Malcolm Gladwell's tipping point. There's a point. Every company, every person has it, right? Every event has it, where you piss off the wrong person, or you make the wrong decision, the wrong move, and the chips start to fall, and you lose momentum, and you can't recover it. And I think what's happening now is a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that Facebook and Google and these companies get to make decisions today, irregardless of whether they actually have evidence to support their decision. They can be wrong, be called out for being wrong months later, and not apologize and not remedy it. And that's just what happened. Like, listen, I don't want to get political here, but that is exactly what happened with COVID, right? So, and you guys are not following this. Basically last year, and I know we're talking two things here. We're talking about organic social media, we're talking about paid advertising. So different things, but they both have to do with censorship and kind of personal attacks by social media against people and companies that they don't like. And really the biggest things for advertising at Facebook are our political brands, and our brands lean right. Our brands are promoting things that are considered conservative values, okay? And I know Facebook doesn't like that. I know that social media doesn't like that. That's clear. The percent of people in big tech and social media that are registered Republicans is tiny. Listen, I'm not a registered Republican. I didn't vote Republican. Like, I'm a libertarian down the middle. Like, I voted right, I voted left. So I'm not a conservative. But like, what happened is, a year ago when COVID started, there was a lot of qualified scientists and journalists who were posting on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, theories that, hey, maybe we should investigate this coming from a lab. I have some evidence to show this from a lab. Those people all got banned. Those people, there were journalists, there were research scientists from China with 60, 100,000 followers that got banned because they suggested that we investigate the possibility that this could have come from a lab and not from a bat. And guess what? All those people got banned, and oh my God, now it's all coming out because Biden's saying that people, now it's finally come out, there's evidence that, oh, actually, yeah, that's probably what happened. That's probably the scenario, that it actually probably did come from a lab, and now we need to investigate it. But what's not going to happen is Facebook and Google are not going to apologize to the people who they deplatformed, to the people who they silenced, to the people who were maybe they destroyed their careers because that was their medium to get their voice out and their content out, and they couldn't do it. They're not going to apologize to those people. They're not doing it at all. And not only are they not apologizing, they're not reinstating them, which is crazy because it's basically the thing you banned them for has now come out that they were right. like all these people that got banned a year ago for saying shit, even New York Post articles and stuff that came out with this, like reputable media organizations that got shut down and people got deplatformed. It's right. Like, big tech was wrong. Social media was wrong, but you'll never get an apology from them. They'll never admit that they were wrong. And that's the problem right now, is there is no standard. It is completely subjective on who gets banned. either personally, organically, or on the paid side of things. And that is, again, what the argument here too is. Like, that is the argument here. The argument is not feel bad for me or that banning me is what I'm really mad about. Listen, I'll be fine. We have plenty of advertisers on the platform. We advertise in a lot of other places. We have tons of organic traffic, and we have lots of other businesses that aren't even paid in the paid traffic space. So for me personally, I don't really give a shit, right? I wasn't running that much stuff anyway. I was running a few accounts, and I'm advising on more. The problem is the lack of consistency and the lack of having any type of objective across the board. This is why we decided to do this. And if they continue down this path, it is going to force more and more people to have to go to other platforms or build their own platforms, right? And that's what's amazing is like, this happened to Parler, right? It's like they did this to a lot of people. And for a lot of people, they were wrong about doing it because now it's come out, there's actually news that a lot of these decisions they made and the content they posted was actually factually accurate. No apology, no reason they're stopping it. But then they say, well, go build your own platform. And then, by the way, if you go build that platform, we don't like it, we're going to shut that business down too, which they do with Parler, right? And so you literally, we live in a world now where a handful of individuals control the voice, the ability to have conversation, the ability to have, free thought, and the ability to have commerce. Hey guys, how's it going? A few of those companies, a few of the individuals have that ability to do that. And that should terrify everybody. And I want to make this super clear as well, because I know this got a little political. And like I said before, I'm really down the middle when it comes politically. I voted on both sides. I will say, because it seems like it's, people that are more, Democratic leaning have no problem with this because it's really not happening to people on that side. This should objectively scare everybody because in 4 years or 3 years from now, there can be a different party in power, and there can be, in a few years, maybe there's, the biggest tech companies in the world are run by Republicans, run by conservatives, right? And you would not like that standard being applied to you, right? I think in my world, and this might be a crazy view, but people should be able to say what they want to say. If I'm not causing harm to you, if I'm not breaking the law, if I'm not posting lewd or extreme content that's clearly, inappropriate for these platforms, I want people to have a voice, right? We should all be allowed to have dissenting opinions. We should all be allowed to advertise products that might not be liked by other people. Listen, there's plenty of products that are, Seabrook said, First Amendment. Yeah, there's a lot of people, and let me know if you guys are on the live right now. I haven't done a live in a really long time, and I only have a few more minutes because Quinn and I are wrapping our walk. But I needed to get this out there. I'm probably going to start doing a series of these just because there's so much to say and there's so little time, and there's so much momentum behind this. There's so many people who have been silent, but this has been happening too. Every single day this is happening to people on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google, where people are getting removed from either their personal accounts or advertisers are not being allowed to advertise. And it's said it's being done because of rule violation. And for the life of me, listen, this is what I'll kind of wrap with. Like, I know Facebook ad policies like the back of my hand. I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. We don't sell or market anything even remotely close to gray, right? Even remotely close. Even our conservative stuff is super high quality. We're selling high-end collectibles. We're selling collectible bills, coins, real US currency. We have an apparel brand that's selling stickers and t-shirts and stuff. And it's not saying crazy shit on it. It's not like we're running t-shirts that are saying like, violence to the left or do this, right? Like we're saying pretty, like realistic things and toned down things if you're a conservative. People that have different views than you should be allowed to have products they like marketed to them, and they should be able to buy those products. Whether you disagree with it and don't like it is fucking irrelevant, right? It should be irrelevant. And I don't know when we got to this place as a country where there is a group of people who believe that their views on the world are actually fact and are universally true, even though they're views. And that if you have different views and share those different views either through ads or through organic content, It is not allowed because it is factually inaccurate. Therefore, we need to protect people, so we need to remove it. And that is really that is where things are going today. But until there's universal enforcement. So I'll give one more example here. Okay? So when the Parler stuff happened a year ago, right? So when the Parler stuff happened a year ago, Parler got shut down because they weren't censoring enough. Okay, Parler got shut down because they were not removing enough content. Well, guess what's happening now? So Apple is letting Facebook get, and I hate Facebook, so I don't want to take Facebook's side here. I'm just showing the complete double standard and bias and the lack of consistency. Apple is allowing Facebook to get bombarded by 1 stars because what Apple says is, well, you're censoring a certain group of people that have certain views, which in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I don't want to get into that. I'm not going to share my opinions on that, but I'm just saying. So basically, Facebook was removing posts from pro-Palestine groups and pro-Palestine users. And those people went to the App Store and the Google Store, and Facebook now has like a 1 or 2 star review. And Apple will not remove those 1 star reviews like they did for Robinhood when Robinhood fucked over everybody. They came to Robinhood's defense. Because they're saying Facebook shouldn't have censored that. So that's the world we live in right now. And that's, again, going back to the central theme here that we can end with, is that there are different sets of rules for different groups of people. And that is not okay. You can't operate that way as a company where you have rules, but those rules are not applied universally. So it's either got to be like your Apple, for example, that we like you censoring or we don't like you censoring. You got to pick one. You can't say, again, we like you censoring people with conservative views, even if they're more extreme conservative views that I don't agree with personally. But we don't like you if you censor views that we might support. And again, that is what's happening. And listen, I think both those individuals, as long as they're not breaking the rules, as long as they're not coordinating, horrific acts of violence or doing terrible things that are obviously illegal, people should be allowed to share their opinions, right? Saying you dislike somebody is not a physical act, okay? Me promoting conservative products is not physically harming anybody, right? And so that's where we're kind of at right now, is this complete double standard. I know this kind of went into a tangent. This went into a much longer rant. But yeah, I mean, long story short, how's it going? Long story short, it's an interesting time, and there's a point of no return and there's a tipping point, and I don't know what that is. And honestly, the point of no return, the tipping point, it's going to happen one way or the other. So it's either going to happen where enough people finally stop using these platforms and there's platform alternatives out there for decentralized platforms where people can freely advertise without being, told what they can and cannot advertise. Or nobody is going to come and fight for it. And these companies are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they'll be unstoppable. And we'll have no options. We'll have no recourse, right? That's happening out with Amazon. It's like, if in a few years, 5-10 years, these, Amazon, Apple, Facebook own everything, we're screwed as consumers. We have no choice. We have no freedom, essentially, to choose. So that's what I have for tonight. Again, if you're watching the replay, let me know. Drop a comment if you guys if you agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, that's also fine. Listen, if I don't expect us all to agree on everything, and that's okay. That should be okay in our world. We should be grown-ups, and we should be adults, and we should be able to have healthy debates. We can disagree, and we can have heated arguments and debates, but at the end of the day, they're discussions, and that's good for everybody, is to have open dialogue with people. But the current scenario is not sustainable, because all that it's doing is it is polarizing us more, and it is forcing people to choose sides. That's what it's doing. It's forcing people who are in the middle to choose a side. That's where we're at as a country right now. And that's not healthy, right? There should be a middle, and there should be a place for us to comfortably have conversations and comfortably have debates and disagree on topics and have civil discourse, and be able to advertise products that everyone loves, right? That should also be a thing. So that's all I got. If you guys agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, also let me know. Maybe I'll have like a roundtable discussion or something with multiple viewpoints of people that agree with it, disagree with it, and maybe come up with some solutions. So we'll see if that happens. We're back from our walk right now. So yeah, Ron said Google's getting into healthcare data now. Yeah, I mean, Amazon bought MGM. Google's getting into healthcare. Like, it's only a matter of time before these companies own everything, right? And it's scary because things are bad right now, and they don't own everything right now. So that's what I got. Again, let me know what you guys think. Drop some comments. Let me know if you're watching the replay, and we'll see. Maybe I'll start doing more of these on these nightly walks, because now I got a lot of free time. I got a lot of free time to since I can't advertise to bitch and complain about Facebook. So we'll see. Anyway, Quinn and I are going in, and don't want to wake up my amazing wife, who's actually watching right now. Literally, you should be sleeping. You shouldn't be watching my live. You need to get some rest for a night shift. And I love you. If you're watching, I love you. Go to sleep. We're going to be inside in a second. And everyone else, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk soon.